Hey crew, it has been 6 months of ownership of my 26 BMW M3 CS, and to celebrate, I'm headed to the Petersen Automotive Museum in Los Angeles for an all BMW cruise-in, where BMW of North America is going to be publicly unveiling for the first time the M3 CS Handschalter. On my way there, and in no particular order, I wanted to review some of the things that I have most and least liked about owning this car. Since we are on the highway, and since I did take a decent road trip in the CS when I first got it, I'm reminded of how excellent, surprisingly excellent, the fuel economy is for such a journey. I think I averaged 24 miles per gallon, which well exceeds BMW's estimate for the highway fuel economy. And this was again combined with some city driving, but yes, a lot of highway driving. I also am very pleased, even on this somewhat uneven road surface with concrete slabs, the ride compliance. For, a track-focused car, yes, it's daily drivable, but it is tuned for track duty. The ride is very compliant. Yes, still taut, it never doesn't feel like a sports car, but it is not a punishing experience day in and day out. Next up, just because, well, it's right here and I'm thinking of it, the uniquely CS trait of a lack of cup holders here in the console. Yes, you do have an angled cup holder in each door pocket, but if it's not a sealed bottle like this, say it's a cup of coffee with a mouth opening that could spill the coffee out, those don't work. So you're sometimes just riding with it between your legs, or you're drinking all of your beverage before you can leave. Of course, I've got to mention these standard carbon bucket chairs, which look so cool. And if you're doing high G cornering, they're expert at keeping you in place. I love them. Day in and day out, there are some small issues. For one, the high fixed side bolster is something you do have to contort your body to avoid on your way in and out of the seat. And I just don't want to wear out the leather on top of the seat, so I'm being very careful. Then, if you're taking a longer trip, there is a good amount of padding here, so I didn't find an issue with that, and the adjusting side bolsters meant that my body type was fine at least. It's 6 feet tall with a longer torso, no problem. So many different ways you can adjust these seats. But beyond those 2 hours in the saddle, the fact that this carbon hump is keeping my legs locked in position, you feel restricted, and without lumbar, your lower back can start to hurt. So you're gonna wanna get out and just stretch or move your body. I don't personally have a commute, but if I did, I'd be very grateful for the fact that this car has adaptive cruise control. However, as I encountered on my road trip, if you are stopped, like you're in parking lot levels of heavy traffic, for more than 1 or 2 seconds, the system will just time out and it won't resume itself like some other adaptive cruise systems. So that's a bit of an issue, although at least it does have the full speed functionality, and it has a lane departure / correction system. It's not a lane centering assist, but yeah, the systems are definitely helpful for commuters, unlike myself. Visibility is gratefully excellent, and this is me coming out of the Dodge Demon 170, which had a massive blind spot at the C-pillar. No such issue here in the CS, and there's standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic. Yeah, I can just see everything, and therefore I feel confident making maneuvers on the highway or city streets. This is a small thing, and we're not going to encounter it as an issue today because the skies are so gray. But the fact that the sun visor moves, about 2, maybe 2.5 inches over here, leaves a fair bit of the window for your skin to be torched by the sun. They could spend maybe an extra $1 per car to extend that. I'm guessing it's more like a few cents. Come on, BMW. It has been a huge and pleasant upgrade over the comparably archaic Demon 170's cabin to have these 2 vivid screens. Yes, I wish this was more of a driver-focused cockpit, but they do a good job with the displays, making it feel a little more about me, not so much about the passenger. But yeah, they're just really responsive, easy to use, and the graphics are super sharp and cool. You can customize it as much as you want. You've got the remote start functionality, you can use the app for that too. There's just so many things this car can do that you really find is convenience the more you live with the car. More likes and dislikes to come, but for now, here at the Petersen, let's go see this new manual M3 CS. Picked up a straggler here, Jeff from BMW North America, and we are gonna get some prime real estate here. Look at this collection of cars. My car's in good company over here. It is the only G87 M2 CS here, but we've got an F87 CS right across. Looking so good. Next to a G87 M2. Taking a step out of the M2 realm. Look at this Z8 with the Alpina wheels. What a car. Oh, and behind it, a 1M Hero. Not one clown shoe, but two M4 GTS. Don't see these very often. Completes with roll cage. Woo! And there it is. The new M3 CS Handschalter, which means hand shift in German. And this is going to be a North American exclusive vehicle. And it's painted in this Imola red. It has the same diet as the standard CS, although they didn't have to have a front drive shaft so they could adjust the suspension. Go ahead. In certain ways. Has an optional front brace. And it's going to make 473 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque, just like the standard M3. And it's limited in that output because it has the manual. One thing my car didn't have is the carbon fiber hood. You get that on the M3 CS, whether it's the hand shift or the all-wheel drive automatic. Just like my car, it's got the 19-inch front, 20-inch rear bronze wheels. Optional carbon ceramic brakes are equipped to this one, with the red painted calipers, unique carbon fiber front lip, and of course, the grille inserts, bespoke CS details. It also gets the titanium exhaust. Beautiful carbon backed buckets like my car are here as standard. And look at these cool perforated inserts. It's like a waterfall of red. All right, finally my chance to get behind the wheel and feel this. Well, it's just the standard M3's manual. They didn't even give it the linkage from the Z4 M40i, which is a bit of a disappointment. I would be totally fine with the power deficit compared to even my car with 523 horsepower if they gave it either a completely new gearbox or the tuning of the Z4 M40i. The fact that it is the standard M3's manual in all of its kind of elastic feeling, just lack of engagement, is a bit of a bummer. But hey, there's a manual in a CS car. I don't want to complain too much. This is really cool. So it's going to start at $108,000 before any of the options, which include the paint color and the carbon ceramic brakes and that front strut. And I believe the tires are also going to be one of those options that will bring up the price to, you know, if you add everything, maybe 120 grand. Yikes. And that's before any markups. It will not be a common car. They're not going to make very many of them. And as I said, it's a North American exclusive vehicle. And look who it is, Mobile Mama and the kiddos. She drove over in the Alpina XB7. We're coloring in a car. This feels so wrong, and yet this is awesome. That was a very cool event, and I'm excited for in the next 3 to 4 months to have a chance to drive that new M3 CS Handschalter. But until that happens, I can be very satisfied driving my M2 CS because after 6 months of ownership, that is by far my favorite part. Giving it the beans. And appreciating what a monstrously quick vehicle this is. In a straight line. Holy cow. Or better yet, through curves. And this is something I've sorely missed in my Demon 170. Lateral athleticism, and at such a high level in the CS. The willingness to change direction from all the stiffening and all the suspension tuning that has happened with this car. Good heavens. Combined with that power, the electronic limited slip differential at the back end, the weight savings, oh, and the steering. That is the biggest difference. Compared to the regular M2, this is night and day. So much more talkative, quicker, sharper. And with those carbon ceramic brakes, you've got the stopping power to match. You can carry speed and not be concerned. Of course, I would love all of this to be complemented by the engagement of a manual transmission, and not just a manual, frankly, not even just the base M3's manual that's now going in the M3 CS Handschalter. I would want the manual out of the Z4 M40i. And so the fact that that's not even in the standard M2 and certainly didn't make its way into the CS means that I can make do with this, yes, torque converter automatic, because it's so effective. And with good engagement from the paddles, good action from these, and certainly prompt shifts, you'll find your engagement in just how much faster you're reaching the next curve, and not the action of changing the gear, I guess. It is such a rewarding, exhilarating car to drive. All this time later, that hasn't changed at all. In fact, it's actually gotten better, because as I've learned the car more, become more confident in what it can do, where it can do it, I just appreciate it all the more. I just want to do it more often. And I'm grateful for the ability to spend more time with this car. Because what a rush it is. Oh, goodness gracious. What a machine. It really is. The ultimate driving machine. Within my budget as a new car in 2026. I'm going to conclude this one out here, just saying that every time I come out of a store or even open my garage door, I still get excited just looking at this car. And the velvet blue was so the right paint choice. It's got depth, it changes in different lights, it's distinctive but not flashy, and it goes really well with the CS styling traits and some things I had to add, like the yellow DRLs and this carbon fiber front lip, thank you to Turner Motorsports for sending those, which just bring it in line with the rest of the CS kin. I've always wanted a car with bronze wheels. They're just so cool, and they do look great here with that purpley blue paint, but then you add in the red of the carbon ceramic brakes and something doesn't play nicely for me. But you know what? I still am into the look, and those Cup 2 tires and how low the CS sits on those wheels is fantastic. Then you get to the back end and the ducktailing carbon fiber trunk lid. It seals the deal for me on this car being a standout from the standard M2. Oh, and the Turner Motorsports catback exhaust. You know, stylistically, I prefer the factory setup. It looks cleaner with that carbon fiber diffuser, but you do get a slightly better sound, and it doesn't void your warranty, so there's that. Now, if you will, excuse me, I'm gonna get back to the real reason I bought this car and why I'm still a happy owner. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Yeehaw!